Good afternoon. I'm Tim Sever, and today we're going to look at a chain rule computation that's a little bit involved. It's really a quotient chain rule problem where we have two nested inside functions. So you see, first, look in the green. We have an inside function of the numerator of 2x, so a chain rule would be required when we hit that piece. We have an inside function in terms of the squaring function on the denominator. And secondly, we have another inside function. Inside the sine function, we have 3x. So there's going to be actually two chain rules involved here as we get into an overall quotient rule computation. So let's do this by the quotient rule first, because we're seeing the quotient as the outermost function. All right, how does the quotient rule work? It's the derivative of the numerator, derivative of the top. So now what's the derivative of cosine? Minus sine. Recopy the inside. Okay, now I need to engage the chain rule here. What's the derivative of this inside function? 2. Okay. Now, all of this in here, in this brackets that I'm pointing to, that's the derivative of the numerator times the denominator minus the derivative of the denominator, which I'll do here, then of course times the numerator over the denominator squared. All right, so now let's do the derivative of the denominator. It's another chain rule. 2 comes down, recopy the inside, decrease the exponent. Now I need the derivative of this inside function that I just recopied. That goes here. Now, what's the derivative of 1 minus 3 sine x? Well, the derivative of 1 is 0. The minus we can recopy. The derivative of sine is cosine. Recopy this inside function. Now I have to hit another chain rule times the derivative of this inside function of 3x. That's 3. Good? Now let's see what I've just done. That should be the derivative of the denominator. Let's review. I need to take the derivative of this entire function in the denominator. The 2 comes down, recopy the inside, decrease the exponent, times the derivative of the inside function. There's a syntax error here, compiler error. Now, let's see. So what's the derivative of 1 minus sine 3x? 0, of course, for 1. Negative cosine 3x times the derivative of 3x. Okay, now are we done with the numerator? No. Don't forget, all this is the derivative of the denominator. Now we have to multiply by the original numerator of 2 cosine 2x. And now that's the hard part. The quotient rule, the denominator is the easy part. It's just all over the entire denominator squared. And when you square something to the square, you get to the 4th power. Now, of course, this would simplify. Let's look at it. You have a term of 1 minus sine 3x here, 1 minus sine 3x squared there, so we could factor. So let's see what we could factor out. We could factor 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4. We have one of these terms, and negative times negative is positive, and that's about it. So I'm going to factor out a 4. I'm going to factor out a 1 minus sine 3x to the 1st power, and everything else will be what it is. 2 times 2 is 4, that's gone. We have a negative here, one of these is gone, so this is, I should have factored out a minus. I'm going to factor this minus out as well. Okay, give myself a little more room there. Okay, now, so the negative is gone. We have sine, gone means factored outside, times, now one of these is removed out front, so this is 1 minus sine 3x to the 1st power, which I won't write. Now, negative times negative, oh, excuse me, negative times negative is positive, but I'm factoring out a negative, so this becomes minus. This is gone, 2 times, gone right here. 2 times 2 is 4, so that's removed. So now I just have cosine times cosine. Cosine 3x times cosine 2x times 3, which is 3 cosine 2x times cosine 3x all over 1 minus sine 3x to the 4. And of course, we now can do division. This one term here cancels one of the terms there. So the final answer is just recopying with this term removed and the denominator reduced. I can multiply out. I don't really see the need. I don't believe it's any more simple, so we'll just leave it like this. All over 1 minus sine 3x to the third. There you go. So somewhat involved, 2 different levels of the chain rule involved, and we went ahead and did the trigonometric algebraic simplification. Thank you.